Welcome in, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome back for those coming back. If you're new, please hit that subscribe. We'd love to have you. And everyone, please hit your like on your way in. We have breaking news, and you don't want to miss anything coming up as we learn more. We have noticed the silence, and now, boom, 14 hours ago on X, an internal affairs and audit review, not into whom we expected. I expected Sumner County Sheriff's Office, in my opinion, but AtNight Operations by One World and AtNight. So, what does this mean for Sebastian Rogers? For Seth, who needs a team? Are they still working beside him? What is happening? What is going on? Well, buckle up. This is Crime Time Buzz, and we are going to get into this very interesting update. Shocking twists and turns all the time. AtNight was, and I think is, assisting with the search for Sebastian Rogers, last seen February 25th, 2024, in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Well, Sebastian's still missing. And with his local law enforcement silence and leaving stones and tips unturned, such as the Bristol, Virginia tips proclaimed sighting, as well as the Sutherland, Oregon Ford's Pond eyewitness sighting, no contacting of those individuals, letters being sent all over the nation now on behalf of begging for an independent investigation into Sumner County and the search for Sebastian, a call for the U.S. Marshals, and a petition being coordinated for Craddock's recall. This is quite an unexpected twist. So the Internal Affairs Review is into AtNight Operations. So let's read about this very thorough and probing audit and investigation review into AtNight's operations. What is going on, and how will this affect Sebastian Rogers? 14 hours ago, formal initiation of independent audit and internal affairs review into AtNight Operations, issued by One World Society Corp. In the interest of transparency, ethical governance, and operational integrity, the One World Society formally announces the commencement of an independent audit and internal affairs review into the leadership, conduct, and operational actions of AtNight, its affiliated operatives, command structure, and digital infrastructure. So we do not know if this is going to affect Sebastian's search, their assistance, but we're reading into it. Let's read it. This process will be thorough, impartial, and unsparing. It is not a symbolic gesture. It is a necessary accountability measure, triggered by both internal concerns and external observations, meant to reinforce the integrity of our systems, personnel, and public trust. It's going to be quite an investigation. Here it's talking now, it's going to share with us the scope of the investigation. The audit will assess and report on the following areas with full access to records, personnel, and communication channels. Number 1, chain of command compliance. Verification of whether all significant actions and public statements and digital operations were properly authorized under TV10 command hierarchy. Examination of bypassed command protocols, false attribution of authority, or retroactive justifications for unsanctioned actions. So this is talking about making sure there was verification for all significant actions, public statements, digital operations, and that they followed the authorized command hierarchy. Also making sure examination of bypassed command protocols, false attribution of authority, or retroactive justifications for unsanctioned actions. There's a command chain of command, and they're making sure every action has gone through that proper chain of command. Number 2, communications oversight and digital conduct. Review of all transmissions, publications, and engagements across Signal, Discord, secured mail, and affiliate channels. Hmm. Identification of any actions that may constitute unauthorized representation of at night, impersonation, doxing, dissemination of unvetted intelligence, and retaliatory engagement. So let's keep going. Number 3, surveillance and identity exposure. Investigation into whether any individual engaged in surveillance or exposure tactics, public or private, without express authorization, legal clearance, or sufficient evidentiary justification. Cross reference against AtNight's operating guidelines and applicable jurisdictional laws. Making sure all tactics that were used were legal, had legal clearance and just evidentiary justification. And they will be cross-referencing that with AtNight's operating guidelines and jurisdictional laws. Number 4, use of psychological pressure or defamatory tactics. Assessment of whether any current or former personnel use their position or affiliation to defame, harass, or pressure individuals, either inside or outside the organization. Evaluation of whether such behavior was systematic, encouraged, or ignored by those in supervisory roles. Okay, so they're talking about defamation, harassment, pressuring individuals inside, outside of the organization, and they will be assessing that. Evaluating whether such behavior was encouraged, systematic, or ignored by those in supervisory roles. So they are looking at who was watching what was going on, who was approving what was going on, and if it should have been going on. Financial. Number 5, legal and reputational risk management. Identification of any conduct that may have exposed the organization to civil liability, regulatory violation, public trust erosion, or undermined our strategic partnerships and funding frameworks. Review of resource usage and whether operations were consistent with fiduciary and operational mandates. Any evidence uncovered that suggests unlawful conduct, including but not limited to threats, impersonation, digital harassment, transmission of private data without consent, or unauthorized surveillance, will be referred immediately to the appropriate law enforcement authorities. No operative, no matter their rank, will be shielded from consequence. See, and this is an internal affairs review. And this is what we're talking about that we want done about the investigation into Sebastian. We want something this thorough and probing into that investigation. We reiterate, AtNight and One World do not offer protection to individuals who weaponize their access or affiliation for personal agendas, vendettas, or unauthorized campaigns. Should any misconduct rise to the level of prosecutable offenses or actionable civil violations, it will be addressed both internally and in alignment with applicable legal processes. We will cooperate fully with third-party investigations. They're not playing. At this time, the One World executive body maintains that AtNight, as a structural entity, has operated within its authorized scope and in accordance with its chartered mission. However, that presumption remains contingent upon the outcomes of this independent review. If the audit confirms that operations were appropriately executed and well supervised, that conclusion will publicly be released and defended. However, any finding to the contrary will prompt immediate policy corrections, sanctions, and where applicable, structural changes. That was part 1 of 2. It goes on to continue. The part 2 says, "You don't hire us, you withstand us. And if you're still standing, we build what only the prepared can carry." This is not a campaign to affirm or destroy reputations. It is an obligation to the public, our partners, and our internal operatives who have served honorably and deserve clarity. This investigation occurs during a period of heightened visibility for One World, with significant financing, jurisdictional expansion, and international operational scaling underway. As such, our governance must be unimpeachable. This audit is one expression of that standard. Reputation, funding, and public confidence are inseparable from operational truth. If we allowed violations to occur, whether by negligence, oversight, or intentional shielding, we will own that failure and rectify it. I wish everyone would be that accountable in their duties and the things they should be doing. We will own that failure and rectify it. Sumner County Sheriff's Office, in my opinion, instead of hiding, not speaking, not saying a word, pretending there's a child not missing in the area. In my opinion. If not, we will assert the facts with clarity and finality. Next steps and transparency commitment. The independent audit is effective immediately. The Internal Affairs Directive has been logged under Executive Order OW-IA 0525. Findings will be delivered in phases to the board and relevant oversight bodies. A public summary of key conclusions will be issued upon closure of the primary phase. So we will be updated, so hit that notification bell. Any resulting disciplinary, structural, or procedural actions will be announced promptly. We will get information. We remain resolute in our mission, but a mission that can tolerates misconduct or allows internal impunity is not one worth preserving. Our commitment is to the truth wherever it leads. No silence will be bought. No position is above accountability. No clearance or rank will protect wrongdoing. This is exactly what we need into the Sumner County Sheriff's Office investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. This is the standard by which One World and AtNight will continue forward. If only Tennessee and Sumner County had such accountability, integrity. So something's going on, something's brewing. They are going to keep us posted. And I have something I want to share with you later on. So hit the notification bell. We will keep going at it. We will keep looking into what this means for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Still missing, still needing to be located. His name is still not being said by Sumner County Sheriff's Office. We need to know what is going on. There's an investigation, internal affairs into AtNight Operations, who were assisting with the search for the helping the father with the search. What does that mean for Seth now? He needs a team. He's the only parent looking for his son. His mother is not. Help us figure out what this means. Thank you, everyone. I will see you soon. Hit the thumbs up, please. Notification, subscribe if you haven't. Keep keeping on, and we will talk soon.